Can we talk about Colleen Ballinger?
Oh,
Ballinger?
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Can we
We're going
talk
off on
about
a big
Colleen
tangent here,
Ballinger?
people.
I have done nothing over the last 2 weeks but consume content on Colleen Ballinger. Let me tell you.
All right, well, go ahead and start. I have to tinkle.
Well, I mean, how much are we aware of before I start talking? What do
Well,
we
I know
know?
she's Miranda Sings, right?
Well,
I
yes.
honestly I have never. Well, I don't. Because I'm not like a huge. I'm not a huge follower of hers.
Okay.
Like I kind of knew who she was. I knew what she did, but I know she's very. She is very talented, right? I mean, with music, but I did not realize all of the things that were going on here behind the scenes. Apparently,
So
tell me.
here's what's devastating for me is that I was a huge fan of hers. Like I grew up watching. She started doing Miranda like 2007, and I like grew up watching her. I've been to her live shows before. I met her at one of her live shows, and then after a while,
Yeah, the reason I was interested in this. I wanted to ask you about this tonight too, is because I saw your TikTok post today.
Right.
Or was it yesterday?
It was either last night or this morning. I don't remember. It's one big day.
Yeah.
But no, I like after a while I had kind of like, Miranda started getting more zany because it used to be just like a girl who thinks that she's the best singer in the world, the most talented person who's actually really bad at singing. And then it started kind of like evolving into this like wacky zany character, and I kind of just like outgrew it. But then specifically over the pandemic, I started watching her vlog channel because she started posting stuff that she was doing with her family during lockdown, and just like these wholesome videos about like talking about her feelings and her experiences. And she's been very open about like her mental health journey and just like a bunch of like just stuff that she talks about in her life. And I connected to it a lot. And I started like really just becoming a fan of her as a person. She made her Broadway debut. Like there are just a lot of things that like from the time that I was in high school, I really looked up to her a lot because we're only, a couple of years behind her. And to see what has been coming out about her over the last couple of weeks and to see all of this stuff resurfacing, and then yesterday to see how she responded to it, which we will get into, is like, it's very disheartening, and it's just vile. It's gross.
Well,
it like,
yeah, I mean, because I feel like after I saw your TikTok post, I like started to try to look more into it, and I saw that she put up some weird like ukulele song today to like respond. And it was like 10 minutes long or 11 minutes long to respond to this. Like these are very serious allegations. And
so just
responding
like
with a ukulele song
for anybody listening that maybe doesn't know what she was responding to, it was a lot of inappropriate conduct with minors in group chats. There are people who, from the time that she was like 30, 31 years old, was in group chats with people from the ages of like 14 to 17.
Bless you,
and Kyle. Bless you, Kyle. From the ages of 14 to 17. And she, Adam McIntyre is kind of like the main person that's kind of gotten the ball rolling on this.
Yeah, Adam McIntyre is the name I saw. And he apparently received, and she admitted to this too, right? That she sent him when he was, I don't know exactly when it happened, but he said
he was
that
like 13,
he was
14
conversing
years
with
old.
her. Yeah, he was conversing with her a lot. I saw between the ages of like 13 and 16 or something was like the years that he was talking to her. And she apparently sent him a pair of underwear in the mail, or a set of underwear through the mail.
Oh God, this is so crazy. So it was, I think 2 or 3 years ago that Adam first came, he like had a falling out with her and came out about this whole lingerie thing. He was at the time when he made this video, 17 years old. And he was he was doing it to like explain to his friends why he is no longer a part of the group chats and no longer a part of the fan base and just not really in it anymore. And he started telling these stories about him feeling uncomfortable around her and with her, and just feeling like there were boundaries crossed and lines crossed. And one of the things that he referenced was receiving a pair of lingerie in the mail from her at 14 years old, and his parents being like, well, what the hell is this? And thinking it was super inappropriate. And
she admitted to this, right?
Well, so people started calling her out, being like, what's going on? And then 3 years ago, she made a quote unquote apology video addressing it. She was like, yeah, well, here's the thing. I did send him underwear. That is stupid. I shouldn't have done that. However, at the time, I would get a bunch of weird stuff in my PO box as Miranda, and I would just like send stupid things in the mail to people as a joke because Miranda's crazy. And then she showed what has now come out to be a doctored video of him on a live stream begging her, please send me this. I want the lingerie. I think it's so funny. You know, all of this stuff, which
Jesus.
At the time, everybody was like, oh, so this Adam kid is just looking for attention and trying to get everybody mad at this person that everybody loves. How dare he? Raked him across the coals. Public enemy number one. Never talked about again. So Adam was like dealing with just a bunch of hate at 17 years old, a bunch of hate of like, you're clout chasing, trying to call out this person who did nothing wrong.
Right. And she did that in this latest song, right, too? Like being like,
well, we got a lot to get through before we get to the song.
Yeah. And Kyle, so we actually do have the lyrics from this song tweeted on the
apology video.
Yeah, whatever that song is.
Yeah.
I just had the lyrics like in like a little picture.
Oh yes, okay. I'm seeing it now.
Yeah.
This is the 11 minutes of lyrics that you had to watch to.
That way you don't have to actually like listen to them.
So we have all the lyrics posted on the podcast Twitter account @chatpod. She's crazy.
Well, so then this was about like 2.5-3 weeks ago. There was this person named Cody who I guess had just recently had a falling out with Colleen as well, and said, okay, well, Colleen, you know, like we aren't friends anymore. We're not on good terms anymore. And now I'm about to blow open a bunch of stuff and like receipts that I have on Colleen, and makes this long video of like videos and screenshots and all of this stuff about like things that Colleen has done wrong, and basically corroborating Adam's story and saying that like for these 3 years, she has been aiding Colleen and trying to get people to take down Adam. And now I'm sorry for doing that. And here's a bunch of receipts on like all of stuff that Colleen has done wrong, which now people are saying, okay, so wait a second. You could have corroborated his story, and instead you allowed everybody to go in on this 17-year-old kid for 3 years when you knew that you had proof that he was telling the truth and you said nothing about it. So now people start seeing that like, oh, we were too hard on Adam. Let's give Adam more of a platform. Adam starts telling more of his story, which has led, because Adam is about 20 years old now, which has led other people who were 14 to 16 at the time to feel now comfortable saying, okay, well, I didn't feel comfortable talking about this before because I saw what happened to Adam. But now that people are willing to listen, I can also tell my story and tell my experiences. And this goes so far as like, you know, her using fans to run tech for her bus tour and treating them terribly. Her talking to the minors in these group chats about her ex-husband and her sex life with her ex-husband and her marital problems with her ex-husband. There are screenshots of her asking a 14-year-old Adam if he's a virgin and what his favorite sex position is.
Yeah, I saw that was in like a group chat too, right?
Yep.
That wasn't even just like it was. Adam was included, but I saw there was other fans in that, and they were also underage.
Yeah, they were all 14 to 17.
Yeah, I also saw something. So I don't remember the name now, but I thought I saw something about an employee of hers that said
that's
that they were working
the kid
on
on the
her
bus
tour,
tour. Yeah,
and brought a girl, a 16-year-old girl, on stage at one of her shows, told her to lay down, and then Colleen spread her legs on stage.
So again, and this is where it's like, it's so crazy because again, we're not that different in age. So when I was growing up watching Miranda stuff, it didn't feel inappropriate to me because it was someone my age doing weird stuff. But now she has gotten older and she's in her 30s and her fan base is still young children. So there are videos of her on tour bringing a kid who can't be more than like 10 or 11 years old on stage to have a quote unquote date with Miranda. Haha, funny little bit. And she puts like candy in her pants and makes the kid reach into her pants and get the candy out. The video that you're referencing is there was a young girl who like Miranda would do a segment where like anything inappropriate is porn. And that was like her whole thing is like, oh no, that's porn. Oh, you're wearing a crop top, that's porn. So kids would come to her shows dressed in like revealing clothing to try to get called up on stage and be used as a prop for the bit. And there was one girl that got called up who was wearing like a very revealing outfit. She was wearing a dress with like, you know, like shorts underneath it, but like was still wearing a dress. And Miranda made her get on stage and do this like bit where she was teaching a yoga class, and she made her like spread her legs and then she would play fart noises. And she did it like a couple of times. And this young girl who's wearing a dress with nothing underneath it is now spreading her legs in front of this audience full of people, full of young kids, and full of some kids with like their parents there, who she said she was like, you know, I felt very violated. And then as I was leaving the show, some people started looking at me a little differently than they were looking when I came in, like older men who were now looking at me as this young girl who was just quote unquote exposed on stage. And, you know, it's just a lot of like grooming allegations and pedophilia allegations. And it's just.
Yikes.
And I've seen, like, I feel like, unfortunately, it's a common thing that when like people are victims and they accuse somebody that has money and influence and all that, right, they're not necessarily believed or taken seriously. And so I've seen the argument out there that, well, why are these accusations and allegations just coming up now if this was all going on? Because even you said Adam, right, is now like 20. Yeah. And this was happening to Adam when he was between 13 and 16 years old or whatever. And I read something today that made a lot of sense to me and really like resonated with me. It was that like when this stuff was going on with the people that are now coming forward, they were children, teenagers, and not teenagers where you know you could be 18 years old and be a teenager and be a little bit more educated. You're about to go to college, you're in college or whatever, but like we're talking about 13, 14-year-old kids. And so like when people talk about like, why is this only just coming out now? It's like, and what I read was that the people that are starting to make these accusations towards her are saying, because at the time I was 13 and I just thought it was cool that I was talking to a hero of mine, where now I'm 20, I'm 21, I'm 22, and I'm just realizing that what was happening was wrong.
You see adults that have been through abuse, whether it's sexual, physical, like whatever it is, who sometimes they don't realize that it was an abusive situation until years down the road. Sometimes they're scared to come out because they think that their abuser might do something to them. Adults don't come out until years later after they have processed and feel safe to do so. When I was 13 years old, if I had contact with somebody that I watched all the time and I idolized and I looked up to and I worshiped, and now they're speaking to me like I'm a friend, my 13-year-old brain isn't saying, oh, this person is an adult, I shouldn't be talking to them, this is wrong. My 13-year-old brain is saying, oh my God, this person that I love so much also likes me. That's crazy. I look up to her so much and she's giving me attention. That's so exciting. They don't understand that it's not okay until they get older and they look back and say, oh, now that I am a legal adult and I am of age and I'm older, I can imagine even thinking about speaking to children like that.
Yeah. Wow.
And then, you know, people have been waiting and talking about it for, 2.5 weeks. What's going to happen? She hasn't addressed anything. There are a couple of clips that I've seen on TikTok of her like making passing comments about it on her tour, because she's still touring. She's still going on tour. There are still future dates for her tour that are planned and she is still going to that have not yet been canceled. But everyone's waiting for her to make a statement, radio silence. And then all of a sudden, yesterday morning, this video goes up of her statement, which is her pulling out a ukulele and singing a song that she wrote and rehearsed and is now recording about,
right. and probably played and recorded herself playing
multiple times.
Oh, that take wasn't good enough. I got to do another one.
There were moments in that video where she like pretended to turn off the camera and was like, "Oh wait, I just thought of something else I'd like to say," and like pulled out a 10-minute video of her playing the ukulele and singing a song about how unfair it is that everybody's dogpiling on her based on lies. Mind you, there are screenshots and videos of this happening, and she provides no proof of any counter argument. But because she says
And
they're lies, they're lies. And
the fact, I'm sorry, she already admitted to sending some teenage kid her underwear, right? So I'm sorry, you've lost all credibility. I'm sorry.
And she specifically calls out the girl in the yoga thing and says that, you know, this is all happening because I made a fart joke one time. Completely ignores the fact that, like, you know, she at one point says, I'm getting called out for being in group chats with minors, but I wasn't doing it in a creepy way. I was doing it in a loser kind of way because I'm just weird. But honestly, you guys are the problem because now you're trying to ruin my life and my career based on things that you made up, and you want me to sit here and take accountability and apologize when I haven't done anything wrong. And honestly, you guys are the problem for now coming at me and trying to make me feel bad and trying to take down my career and, you know, just making this whole big thing. That the toxic gossip train is what she called it. And how, based on like all of this gossip of everyone just deciding that the cool thing to do is to hate me, you're all the problem. And she won't. She didn't say sorry once.
Yeah, I also, I thought, the whole video that she put out is so disgusting. But
did you watch it all?
I thought, yeah, I did today. But what killed me, honestly, before she even started playing that stupid ukulele and started singing the bullshit that she was singing, I think what bothered me almost worse than anything was, like, I don't know what she was trying to accomplish with this video, I guess, because like the way, like, I awful. She's just awful. This is awful. All of this is awful. But like the way that she started this video and before she started playing, being like, you know, my team have strongly advised against me saying anything, but they didn't say I couldn't sing. And then she starts playing the ukulele and saying all this shit. It's like, these are very serious allegations, and the people making them have actual ground for what they're saying. They have actual evidence. Right. You sent a set of underwear to an underage child, like, and now you're just being like, oh, my lawyers told me not to say anything, but I'm gonna sing about it. Let me get my ukulele. And now she's being like, yeah, like, what the hell is wrong with you?
I cannot imagine being one of these kids who came forward about their trauma in such a public way, with thousands of people watching videos about you having to talk about something that has brought you trauma into your adult life. And this is what you get in response. Completely dismissive, treating it like it's a joke. It's gross. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk to you about this because I had seen your post and I saw a lot of things, you know, on the internet about it. And like I said, I know, like, as soon as I saw like pictures of her and so I was like, oh, I know who this person is. Like, I've seen their work before, but I honestly was not totally in the loop on everything that had been going on. So when I saw your post, that actually made me then go to like YouTube and Twitter and like look more into it. And I was like, holy shit. You know, like,
too is like, you know, people are saying, like, I really don't understand what the purpose of this video was, because it's like, it's not an apology video because she's not apologizing. And unless you're specifically trying to kill your career so you can now be done and it's over and it's whatever, all you have done now is draw more attention to what you've done wrong, because now people who maybe didn't know who she was, or like you didn't know these allegations that were coming out against her, are now seeing everybody talk about this wild apology, and more people that weren't in the loop are now finding out about what you've done. So all you've done is exacerbate the problem and make yourself look like more of an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw somebody comment also saying like, oh, she's just trying to get that last paycheck before she's totally canceled and banned from all social media. Get as many views as you can and all that stuff before you're totally done.
That's another thing. I actually just saw a post about this right before we signed on, where like, because everyone's like, why did you need to make a 10-minute song about this? You couldn't just address this in like why is this a 10-minute video? Well, if you're on YouTube and a video is at least 10 minutes long, you can monetize it. If it's smaller than 10 minutes, you can't monetize the video. If it is 10 minutes or longer, you can now monetize it.
Yeah. Yeah. Really sick. Really so sick. But Man, what a tangent tonight, huh?
Ugh.
We were talking about Temptation Island a little while ago.
Well,
Yeah, you brought it up, man.